Welcome back to FedEx Field. I'm Pam Oliver. Well, the Redskins are desperate to see the Kirk Cousins of last season. We had a very blunt conversation with Redskins head coach Jay Gruden, who told us he thinks the ridicule from media and fans has impacted the quarterback. Cousins would not disagree with you on that. He said, I just need to go back, have fun, enjoy this. If I make a mistake, it's time to move on. Gruden also said we have to give our receivers a chance. Back to you.
Thanks, Pam. Doug Peterson in his first season as Eagles head coach. Philadelphia winning their first 3 games. Redskins won the toss, elect to defer. Josh Huff is back deep for the Eagles. Dustin Hopkins gets things started. Opening kickoff through the back of the end zone. So the Eagles and Carson Wentz will start from their own 25-yard line. 7 touchdown passes, only 1 interception over his first 4 pro starts.
Well, Kenny, as I alluded to in the open, you just turn on the tape and the kid has it all that it takes to be successful, and he's really making it look easier than it should be for a rookie. Really excelling in the toughest areas in football at the quarterback position. He's fun to watch play.
Eagles start with 3 tight ends. Ryan Matthews in the backfield. On first down from the 25-yard line, off the play fake. Wentz in trouble. There is a flag. Down he goes.
Holding. Offense. Number 87. Penalties declined. Result of the play. Second down.
Well, the Eagles try to put it in their star quarterback, the rookie's hands on the first play on a play-action fake, and you get a mismatch. Ryan Kerrigan on their tight end, Brent Selleck, and look at that jersey, tattered and torn right from the beginning. So the Redskins making a statement early, led by Ryan Kerrigan.
Loss of 4 on the sack. Matthews finally forced out of bounds by Quentin Dunbar. Well, the Peterson era off to a flying start in Philadelphia. Eagles at 3-1 over their first 4 games. Carson Wentz getting the start 13 miles from the White House, Pennsylvania Avenue, and an attacking defense under coordinator Jim Schwartz, ranked 2nd in the league. 3rd down and 4 after Matthews gained 10. Wentz hands it off. This is Smallwood. And Wendell Smallwood picks up a first down.
You know, Kenny, you saw right there the Eagles attacking the weakness of the Washington Redskins, and that is their run defense. Last in the NFL in terms of yards per carry. They're giving up over 5 yards per carry as a run defense, and the Eagles on 2nd and 3rd down going right at the heart of their defensive problems. And that's just a really nice job by Wendell Smallwood following his best linemen in Kelsey and Peters.
So despite the sack on the first play, Eagles had a 2nd and 14. They pick up the first down. This is Smallwood again, looking to turn the corner, but he could not. As Ziggy Hood comes up to make the play along with Dookie and Acho.
Well, you check out them again going after the run. And they're running behind their best lineman again in Jason Peters. But Preston Smith makes him bubble, and Duke Iheanacho comes in for the tackle. Iheanacho's a guy who they've inserted and has given some help in that run defense, a physical safety.
Loss of 2. 2nd down and 12. Darren Sproles in the backfield. Wentz taken down once again. Back at the 30-yard line, it is Kerrigan.
Well, Kerrigan off to a hot start, and it's against Vaitai, the right tackle, who's in for the suspended Lane Johnson. Kerrigan just working right through Vaitai. And Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, promised that not only Kerrigan would be there, they would come after Vaitai and see if he's ready for NFL football.
So Kerrigan involved in both early sacks. He split the first one with Will Blackman. 3rd down and 18. Wentz over the top. Jordan Matthews, not enough. What a job by the Redskins defense on this first series, led by Ryan Kerrigan.
Well, you have a rookie quarterback who's not playing like a rookie, but you have a right tackle in there, and Ryan Kerrigan asserted himself right away.
The reigning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, Jamison Crowder, returned a punt 85 yards for a touchdown against the Ravens last week. Taken at the 17 by Crowder, and he is upended by Josh Huff. Rough start for Wentz and his jersey.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Key players out today for the Eagles. Their left corner, Leotis McKelvin. John, you mentioned tackle Lane Johnson, 10-game suspension. And for the Redskins, a key loss, Jordan Reed, their tight end, their leading receiver, is out due to a concussion. Matt Jones in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line as Cousins under pressure, looking for Deshaun Jackson.
And when you look at Kirk Cousins, you see he's owned the Philadelphia Eagles in his brief career against them. 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has played well versus the Eagles. And Kenny, we opened the show with, Kirk Cousins struggling in confidence. It's not as if he's playing bad football. He's leaving a lot out there on misfired throws, and he just doesn't look like the same guy I watched at the end of last season.
When he led the Redskins to the NFC East title, Chris Thompson in the backfield on 2nd down. This is Thompson. Not much. Gains a yard, setting up 3rd down and 9. Well, the Redskins, after losing their first 2 games, 3 consecutive victories over the Giants, the Browns, and the Ravens, all in come-from-behind fashion. Cousins, division title last year. What does the future hold? And for the ex-Eagle, Deshaun Jackson and the Redskins, they have won 3 straight against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And he's a guy, Kenny, that they're going to have to get involved. They haven't targeted him much in the last 2 weeks. Jordan Reed out. Deshaun Jackson has to become a bigger part of the game plan.
3rd down and 9. Redskins must get to the 31 for a 1st down, and they do, as the catch is made out of the 33-yard line by Deshaun Jackson, facing the Eagles for the 4th time in his career, and he gains 11.
You mentioned Leotis McKelvin out. Jalen Mills in there for him, and Kirk Cousins doesn't hesitate. When you have speed, you can get separation. Jalen Mills respects the speed. Deshaun Jackson puts on the brakes. Kirk Cousins fires an accurate throw. Good execution by Cousins to Jackson early.
Jackson matched up against Mills, the rookie, 7th-round pick out of LSU. 2 tight ends set. Off the fake to Matt Jones. There is a flag. Cousins again looking for Deshaun Jackson.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 31, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Jalen Mills, the guilty Eagle. Time for a game break in Los Angeles. Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. LA at Detroit. Detroit coming off that win against Philly last week. Opening drive, Matt Stafford to Marvin Jones Jr. with that 7-yard reception. That's Marvin Jones Jr.'s 4th touchdown on the year. Lions up 7-0.
Thanks, Carissa. Great start to the season for the ex-Bengal. John, penalties killed the Eagles last week. They committed 14 in their game against the Lions.
And the problem was the Lions only had 2. So it was really imbalanced, and they have to address that.
From the 37, it's Matt Jones. Jones gains a couple. Nigel proud of the tackle.
When you're talking the Philadelphia Eagles, that really cost them the game last week because most of those penalties came in that first half, and they really fell behind early. They came back and gave a valiant effort. Doug Peterson, even the head coach, even talked about the resolve of his team in coming back, but it was just too little, too late.
Eagles committing their first 2 turnovers of the season against the Lions last Sunday. 2nd down and 8. Cousins looking on second down. It's Jackson again. Defended by Mills. Deshaun Jackson stopped 2 yards shy of a first down, gain of 6. Setting up 3rd and 2.
Deshaun Jackson has been calling for the ball. He's been frustrated visibly in the last couple of games because of the lack of targets, and Kirk Cousins addressing that right away. You want to keep your receivers happy. You can't force it, but he's drawing one-on-one early, and Cousins is feeding them with success.
Jay Gruden telling us Deshaun and Pierre Garçon, they want the ball. I like that about them.
They want to earn their money, and I like that too.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. Bounced away from the intended receiver, Ryan Grant.
And Ryan Grant's a guy who has come into this league. He's only got 1 catch on the year. You got to believe that he's in there on that situation because Jordan Reed, who's a tight end, but really kind of a receiving threat, not in there. And Grant drops the ball right in his hands. Great throw by Cousins.
The always dangerous Darren Sproles back deep. Tress Way punting from his 35-yard line. Sproles lets it go. Bounces into the end zone for a touchback. 55-yard punt, net of 35. Again, the Redskins unable to capitalize on 3rd down.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. Beer with your team on it.
A look at the rookie right tackle, Halapoulivaati Vaitai, beaten for a sack on the first series. Ryan Kerrigan with a sack and a half for the Redskins. Matthews in the backfield. Off the fake from Wentz. Wentz throws, and it's high, intended for Jordan Matthews. Wentz was under pressure from Chris Baker.
You know, and even at the start of a game, Wentz has been an incredibly accurate throw, but you see what pressure, what hits on a quarterback do. Wentz, who's a highly accurate quarterback, fires one high, very uncharacteristic, but Ryan Kerrigan made sure that he made his presence known on that first series. It's already affecting Carson Wentz.
2nd and 10. 3 receivers set. On the handoff, it's Matthews, and he is met immediately. Just able to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Ziggy Hood with the initial penetration.
Really good job by Ziggy Hood. And Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, you talked to him about Ziggy Hood. They kind of got him thinking he could be a back of the roster guy. He had what he says is the best training camp of all defensive linemen. Now he's thrust into that starting position and really playing well.
Third down and 10 for the Eagles. They must get to the 30-yard line. Again, pressure from Kerrigan as Wentz throws. And the catch was made out of bounds by Jordan Matthews.
You see the end of it, a beautifully thrown football. Left foot out of bounds. He drags the right one, but it's that left foot. Beautifully thrown football. Jordan Matthews can't get his feet down. Good pressure again by Chris Baker on that time. The Redskins really making sure to heat up Carson Wentz.
And Ryan Kerrigan as well, who's off to an outstanding start. Donnie Jones punting for the 2nd time. Jamison Crowder back deep. Backpedaling to the 24-yard line. It's Crowder. There is a flag as Crowder is finally tackled at the 35. Another flag has been thrown at the end of the return. 56-yard punt by Jones. 11 on the return.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 50. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10, timeout.
When we return, Kirk Cousins and the Redskins offense. No score, first quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. Switch and save today. Learn more at sprint.com/network. By McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Pepsi. Every football moment deserves a celebration. Break out the Pepsi.
What a day. We had a chance to check out some of the sights around D.C. yesterday.
It was absolutely beautiful. The nation's capital, the Washington Monument. We went over to the new Smithsonian African American Museum of Culture, and it was a really special day in the nation's capital.
Redskins start from the 23. Cousins throws, and there's a flag. Vernon Davis unable to make the catch. It's against the Redskins.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
Right tackle Morgan Moses. Well, Kirk Cousins, terrific season last year. Redskins lost their first 2 games this season, but what a turnaround.
And you see the last 3 games, he's been actually playing much better. So we're talking about a guy who's lacking confidence. And I think that's the reason why this guy can really do it. He can throw the football with anyone. A lot of it, as I alluded to earlier, is what they've left out on the table. A lot of long misses for Kirk Cousins thus far.
Cousins with time on first down and 20. Nigel Bradham defending. Jamison Crowder, the intended receiver.
You know, it's interesting, too. We talk so much about these tight ends that are receiving threats. Well, Jordan Reed out with the concussion. He is Kirk Cousins' favorite target, and it's not close. And when he throws to Jordan Reed, he's that confident guy we saw last year. Without Jordan Reed, they're going to have to do it collectively. And these guys are going to have to step up, and Kirk Cousins is going to have to trust a guy like Vernon Davis, even though he dropped his first attempt.
2 drops. First Grant, then Davis. Redskins had only 1 all season coming into this game. And now they keep it on the ground with Chris Thompson on 2nd and long. Eagles defense under first-year coordinator Jim Schwartz, former head coach in Detroit, ranked 2nd. And one of the keys, they've not been on the field that much. The Eagles offense leads the league in time of possession.
And it's a big change because they're coming from Chip Kelly's offense. They move so fast that this defense spent the most time in football on the field. So it's been a big difference.
They've done a terrific job. They've allowed fewer than 13 points per game. 3rd down and 18. A quick out to Crowder. And Crowder is stopped about 2 yards shy of a first. Nigel Bradham, another tackle.
Well, can you remember the old movie Hoosiers when he says, we're going to run the picket fence? Well, there's the picket fence right at the first down marker. They're saying you can catch anything you want in front of us. And now it's like Red Rover. You know, remember as a kid, Red Rover, send Pierre right over, Jamison right over. Well, he didn't get to the first down marker, and a great job by that Philly defense.
So Sproles back deep. Tress Way punting for the 2nd time. Sproles fields it out to 21. Out across the 30. Good field position for the Philadelphia Eagles and their rookie quarterback Carson Wentz. 2 longtime NFC East rivals still scoreless. Rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and Wentz was named the starter 8 days prior to the start of the regular season following the trade of Sam Bradford to Minnesota.
Yeah, we were just talking during the break. You think Teddy Bridgewater never gets hurt? Maybe Carson Wentz is on the bench learning behind Sam Bradford.
From the 35-yard line, it is Matthews. Matthews gains 4 out to the 39. And Doug Peterson told us yesterday that was my plan all along. Carson was going to be the 3rd quarterback. He would sit and watch and learn behind Sam Bradford and Chase Daniel. But once we made the trade, we decided the future is now. If we're going to have any setbacks, and there's Chase Daniel, let's get it out of the way right now.
Well, and it become apparent his leadership abilities. They saw his aptitude to be able to handle protections and blitz pickups, all the things that give rookie quarterbacks so much trouble. He just made it look easy right from the start. They said, let's go.
2nd down and 6. This is Matthews out to the 42-yard line for a gain of 3 for Smallwood. Wendell Smallwood, his 2nd carry. And how about the job that Wentz has done against the blitz. Best percentage in the entire league.
Well, all of these areas. The blitz stands out, and third downs in red zone. These are the areas that are toughest for quarterbacks in this league, and he's excelling with flying colors at all of them. Here's a big third down.
Third down and 3 as Sproles motions to the backfield. Movement prior to the snap, and the play is blown dead.
I didn't see anything to draw Trent Murphy, so I think that's against the Redskins.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. Number 93. 5-yard penalty results in first down.
Trent Murphy is their leading sacker, and you just see him. Nothing drew him, and tried to get a little early jump on Carson Wentz, and that's another thing Carson Wentz is doing great. The hard count at the line of scrimmage. He acts like a veteran. He acts way beyond his years, and subtle things in his game like that stand out.
New set of downs following the penalty. From the 46, high snap. Off the fake to Sproles. Wentz fires downfield, and Matthews nearly made a spectacular catch.
Well, Wentz got lucky right there. You're going to see Kendall Fuller come into the frame right there. Carson Wentz never saw him. Matthews goes up and makes an incredible attempt at the ball, but Kendall Fuller, the rookie cornerback, nickelback, almost intercepted that. Carson Wentz never saw him.
Third round pick out of Virginia Tech. 2nd and 10. This is Matthews. And Matthews works his way across midfield. So it will be 3rd down and 6 for the Eagles.
And I think it's something that Doug Peterson, not only the head coach, but also very involved in the play calling, along with offensive coordinator Frank Reich, is doing so well. Even though he has immense trust in Carson Wentz, he's staying with the run. Right there, you run the ball, you put him in a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Much more manageable than 3rd and 10.
Eagles empty the backfield. Kenyon Barner split wide to the right. Eagles must get to the 44 for a first down as Wentz throws, and that pass too far ahead of the intended receiver Jordan Matthews, so the Eagles will punt for the 3rd time.
And I like what defensive coordinator Joe Barry's doing. Straight man-to-man coverage, because when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, if there is a weakness, they're wide receivers. I think they're average at best. Jordan Matthews being the best of them. So what do you do against average receivers? You challenge them. You don't play zone, allow them space. You get up and challenge them and make them beat you.
Punt takes an Eagles bounce. There is a flag. Out of bounds inside the 15. John Parry over to ask Jay Gruden what he wants to do.
Personal foul, chop block, kicking team. Washington has elected the 15-yard penalty to be tacked on to the dead ball spot. 1st and 10, timeout on the field.
Carson Wentz starts the game 1 for 5, 4 straight incompletions.
Chop block is on number 90.
It's that 15-yard chop block, and you see Smallwood, 28. He's going to go low. Marcus Smith. So they're engaged at the same time he's chopping. Same on punt protection as pass blocking. Good call.
4 flags.
Encroachment, defense, number 97, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
It's something, Kenny, you know, you follow Jim Schwartz's teams for years. They believe in getting after the passer. They're an attacking defense. So Kirk Cousins, very smart. You go with the hard count. They're a team that always is up there in terms of offsides because they are so intent on getting upfield, wreaking havoc, wrecking run games, and attacking quarterbacks.
6 penalties, only 4 first downs, and 5 punts to this point. Off the play action, Cousins hits Deshaun Jackson in Eagles territory. To the Philadelphia 31-yard line, a 35-yard connection.
Yeah, this is something they worked hard on this week. We're going to call it a cross-country route, just running all the way across the formation. Been a lot of near misses. I did a Dallas game earlier this year. They missed this exact play. It's something they worked hard. They worked full speed, deep routes this week in practice because it's been an issue. That's what I'm talking about. They've been leaving those type of plays on the field. Today they connect.
Third reception of the first quarter for Deshaun Jackson. From the Eagles 31, it's Matt Jones running hard. First down and more. Jones finally tackled at the 16-yard line by Rodney McLeod, a gain of 15.
Great rhythm right after the big play. Now you pound them. Morgan Moses, the right tackle, doing a great job, as is Scherf, the right guard. And Jones, Jay Gruden, was on him at practice this week. Run like a 230-pound back. Run behind your pads. He has a tendency to want to bounce everything. There he runs like a 230-pound back.
And John, you see the numbers. Redskins last as far as red zone touchdown percentage so far this season. They are in the red zone for the first time from the 16-yard line. Cousins to the end zone. Crowder, touchdown!
Kenny, that's confidence. Jamison Crowder, the inside guy of 3. He's going to run a little switch route. They run a little traffic with both receivers. Malcolm Jenkins gets caught up in that traffic, and you can't throw it any better. So the red zone problems, the deep balls down the field that they've been near misses most of the year. Kirk Cousins starting to connect, and that's a good sign for the Washington Redskins.
Helped out by the 2 penalties, one on special teams, a 15-yarder, a defensive penalty, and then the big play. 35 yards from Cousins to Deshaun Jackson. He then hits Crowder for the 16-yard touchdown. Dustin Hopkins, the extra point. Redskins strike first. 7-0 Washington.
Deshaun Jackson pregame talking to Jamison Crowder. Whatever they were talking about, it worked because both of them, the key plays down the field. Crowder for the touchdown, and Kirk Cousins delivering with great precision. There, Kenny, you see they're running traffic. They make it hard for Malcolm Jenkins. He's got to run through 2 receivers, and Crowder gets that separation. And again, just a perfectly thrown football.
Crowder's 3rd receiving touchdown this season, also scored on the punt return last week. In his 2nd season out of Duke. Eagles will start at their 25-yard line. Well, John, I know you've been keeping a close eye on the Major League Baseball playoffs. Tonight it's game 2 of the NLCS. Cubs with a 1-0 lead on the Dodgers. Game 2 from Wrigley Field tonight on FS1. Earlier today, that is Max Scherzer, who is the Nationals' starting pitcher in game 5 Thursday night against the Dodgers. Did not allow a run over the first 6 innings, but then gave up the leadoff home run in the 7th. And Clayton Kershaw comes back. He picked up the save in that game 5 on Thursday night.
And I think we're all behind sleep because these games have been so darn good.
Absolutely. Cubs Dodgers later tonight. Ryan Matthews. Matthews out to the 30-yard line, gain of 5.
Ryan Matthews has always been a productive back in this league, back to his days in San Diego. But his issue, Kenny, has been ball security. 18 fumbles in his career. He's lost 11 of those, and it bit him last week on a key, trying to run the clock out ahead against Detroit. He had a key fumble on a 3rd down. So extra sure about ball security for Ryan Matthews.
Time winding down, 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. Smallwood lined up to the right of Wentz. Wentz connecting with Jordan Matthews, who turns the corner and picks up a 1st down. Matthews out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 9. As the first quarter comes to an end, Wentz suffering the jersey issue early, 7-0 Redskins. We begin the second quarter. Kenny Albert, John Lynch, Pam Oliver. Redskins lead the Eagles 7-0. Carson Wentz just 2 for 6 in the first quarter. There's Jamison Crowder. He has the game's first touchdown. Three tight ends set once again for the Eagles. Off the fake to Smallwood. This is one of the 3 tight ends, Trey Burton, who tiptoes up the sideline, forced out of bounds by Fuller.
Well, when you talk about Carson Wentz, I say he has it all. One of the things, a quick release, he's decisive, and when he makes those quick decisions, he can get rid of it. But here's what bothers defensive coordinators most. They have the perfect call. He's athletic. He can escape the pocket, and then once he does, his eyes are downfield, incredibly accurate, and he has great touch to go along with his strong arm. Carson Wentz, I can't say enough of what I've seen from this young man. Light years ahead of where he should be. Special player for years to come for the Eagles.
Second overall pick in the first round. Second down and 3 off the fake to Smallwood. Wentz is sacked for the 3rd time. Guess who? It is Ryan Kerrigan again.
Ryan Kerrigan, he came to play today. He understood the opportunity he had. He had a rookie. They say his strength is pass blocking, but Ryan Kerrigan said not so fast. Just pure power right through him. And Kerrigan dominating this game, making it so there's nothing Carson Wentz can do.
Kerrigan had 2.5 sacks coming into the game. He has 2.5 today.
And a ripped jersey to go.
Right. A souvenir. 3rd down and 9. Eagles must get to the 49 for a 1st down as Wentz throws. Pass was high. He was looking for Nelson Aguilar. And the Eagles, for the 4th straight possession, will punt it away.
The thing about sacks and pressure, it's contagious, Kenny. So Ryan Kerrigan, just watch this. The pocket collapsing everywhere around Carson Wentz. Nowhere for him to step up. The defensive line, outside linebackers, the rushmen for the Washington Redskins taking control of this game early.
Busy first half for Donnie Jones. Crowder back deep. Balls for the fair catch at the 10-yard line. 50-yard punt. Redskins by 7.
This game is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Redskins out to a 7-0 lead. Will start from their 10-yard line.
Kirk Cousins off to a really nice start. That's the big thing for him. If he can get in a rhythm, he can get hot. And when he's hot, he's tough to deal with. Malcolm Jenkins, the Eagles safety, talked to us about that yesterday.
We've seen it before. Cousins with big numbers against the Eagles over the last couple of years. The handoff to Matt Jones. And he is hit back at the 6-yard line by Benny Logan.
That's the philosophy of this defense. It starts up front. They tell these guys, get up, field, and wreck stuff. You see them shift late, and Benny Logan just pushes Laval down and goes and takes Matt Jones with him. Really been impressed with Benny Logan. Last year, very much in a read and react posture. They're cutting him loose, and he's really loving playing in this scheme.
A sack in each of the last 2 games for Logan. Brings down Jones for a loss of 2 on first down. Cousins throwing out of his end zone. Catch is made by Garcon. His first of the day. Out to the 13-yard line for a gain of 5. Carroll and Hicks the tackle. So the Redskins now facing a 3rd down and 7.
That's another thing, characteristic of this defense. Jim Schwartz very much believes in and has the personnel to just rush 4. So when you just rush 4, you got a lot of people back with eyes on the football ready to come swarm and tackle it, as we just saw on that play.
3rd down and 7. Jackson in motion. Cousins can't find anyone downfield. Now he takes off, must get to the 20. And he does.
You know, Kenny, a guy his teammates have been a little frustrated with him the last couple weeks, Kirk Cousins. Deshaun Jackson, the guys, throw to me. This is the kind of play that endears yourself to your teammates. Giving up your body to get the first down. You don't want to make a living at doing it. Just ask Cam Newton. But when necessary, go give up your body, get the first down. It's exactly what Kirk Cousins does. Great job by him.
Needed 7 and gained 9. Robert Kelly in the backfield, the rookie out of Tulane. 1st and 10, 22-yard line. This is Kelly, who breaks free for a first down and more. Kelly across midfield. And he is finally tackled. And it looks like a horse collar. The flag comes out. Brought down at the 33-yard line by Rodney McLeod. A 44-yard pickup plus the flag.
His nickname, Fat Rob, he's not running fat right there. Or maybe he is. I don't know what's in with the kids with the verbiage these days, but this is a guy who played a lot of fullback at Tulane. Kenny, you do a lot of the preseason for the Redskins, ran himself onto this roster. A horse collar at the end.
And remember the new rule this year, it does not just have to be
There is no foul.
He had his
For
hair.
a horse collar tackle. The defender grabbed the player's hair,
which is
not
legal.
the inside portion of the jersey. There is no foul for horse collar.
And it does not even have to be the inside portion of the jersey this year. It could be around the nameplate. However, as we've heard, John, from Mike Pereira through the years, the hair is legal.
It's the Ricky Williams
right
rule. I mean, that's when it started. But I tell you, Rob Kelly, they talked about getting him some more reps, and he's earning them running like that.
So the flag is picked up, officially a 45-yard gain, longest for the Redskins this season. It is Kelly again from the 33, found a hole, and Kelly takes it down to the 28-yard line for a gain of 5 before he was tackled by Ron Brooks.
He was a free agent. They drafted a 7th-rounder, Keith Marshall from Georgia. Everybody thought Keith Marshall would be that backup running back. Instead, Rob Kelly, every time he went in, he did something productive in the preseason, and like I said, just ran himself. They couldn't keep him off the roster. Now he's earning reps with his play.
And the Redskins also like what Chris Thompson has done, but he's been injury prone, and they like to save him for 3rd down.
Hey, watch it. Backside.
Thompson in here on 2nd down and 5. Takes the toss from Cousins, cuts to the inside, and Thompson picks up another Redskins first down as we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. San Francisco at Buffalo. Colin Kaepernick under center today. 53-yard touchdown pass to Torrey Smith. That's Kaepernick's first touchdown pass since week 6 of last year. Buffalo would score on the ensuing drive. They're up 14-10. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Carissa.
Well, you see, look at Trent Williams, big left tackle, 71 out front. This is called bunch crunch. Favorite play of Jay Gruden's brother, John Gruden. And they're running it to perfection right now.
1st and 10, 18-yard line. Cousins near side, complete to Deshaun Jackson. I think you've spent a little time around John Gruden.
A little bit. Had a lot of good memories. Won a Super Bowl with John Gruden. I got to tell you, watching today, Deshaun Jackson, he's been frustrated. We're only targeted 4 times over the last 2 weeks. Today he was targeted 4 times in the first quarter. That's his 5th, and he's extremely productive. Maybe Jordan Reed being out, and that's been Kirk Cousins' security blankets forcing him to go to Deshaun Jackson.
Kelly in the backfield. There's Deshaun, 2nd down and 6. From the 14, the handoff to Kelly, tripped up, stumbles forward, gains a yard. Malcolm Jenkins the tackle as Thompson is back in replacing Kelly.
You know, we talked about the Redskins' struggles in the red zone coming into today. Kirk Cousins throughout his career was always real strong, but this year a couple big picks and really thrown at a low percentage in the red zone coming into this game. It's an area where he'll have to be better. He has been today.
Bunch formation to the left. 3rd down and 5. Cousins to the end zone. Touchdown, Vernon Davis. And a flag. Probably for excessive celebration.
She can't do a jump shot anymore. I don't know. Here's Vernon Davis. Remember, Jordan Reed out. Simple post route. Gets in between the zone defense of Jenkins and 53 Bradham. Kirk Cousins playing with great confidence.
The ruling on the field is a score. After the score, unsportsmanlike. Excessive celebration, number 85. Using the ball as a prop. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
So Vernon Davis, who grew up in this area, attended the University of Maryland, his first touchdown as a Redskin.
And he was excited. I talked to him on the field before the game. Jordan Reed, good friend of his, and he's wishing him well, but he knew this was an opportunity. A lot of people think his best days behind him. He was so productive in San Francisco, and he, with plays like that, announcing that I'm not done yet.
Born in D.C., attended Dunbar High School. So excited to come home after spending 10 seasons with the 49ers and then some time in Denver with the Broncos as well. Hopkins, the extra point. 6 straight completions. Kirk Cousins heating up.
Cousins letting it rip today, playing extremely confident. The fadeaway, not legal anymore.
Philadelphia Eagles defense had allowed only 5 touchdowns all season over their first 4 games, 2 for the Redskins today.
The Washington Redskins in every phase coming out, just taking it to the Philadelphia Eagles at the beginning of this game. And the Eagles are going to have to wake up and start to answer because the Redskins clicking on all cylinders.
And now the kickoff from the 20-yard line following the penalty for excessive celebration after Vernon Davis took the fadeaway jumper. Smallwood on the return. Across the 30, the 40, midfield, Smallwood still going. All the way to the end zone for an Eagles touchdown, 86 yards.
Kenny, I mentioned they had to respond. There's your response. Tremendous job blocking Marcus Smith. And there's Selleck on the key block. And then it's Wendell Smallwood just outrunning the kick coverage of the Washington Redskins. And that's the answer they were looking for.
Set up by the penalty, the excessive celebration, so the Redskins kicked off from the 20-yard line instead of the 35.
Great point. Great point.
So the rookie out of West Virginia, who grew up here in Maryland, Elkton, Maryland, Wendell Smallwood, returns the kick 86 yards for an Eagles touchdown. Sturgis the extra point. Eagles have pulled to within 7.
Game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Wendell Smallwood needs some oxygen following that 86-yard return.
I would too.
Redskins will start from their 25-yard line. Another look, John, at the penalty following the Vernon Davis touchdown for excessive celebration. We spoke with Mike Pereira, who reiterated you cannot use the football as a prop. You can't use it as a golf ball or a basketball. 15-yard penalty. Kickoff from the 20. Smallwood takes it back all the way.
Well, and it's a huge penalty because Dustin Hopkins, the kicker for the Redskins, they'd only returned 6 of his kicks in their first 5 games.
Right.
So likely going to be a touchback. Instead, Wendell Smallwood needs oxygen.
Right, Hopkins among the league leaders in touchbacks, so a rare return against Washington, and Smallwood takes it all the way, and now the play blown dead on first down. False start.
False start. Offense number 88, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Pierre Garçon.
It's interesting, Kenny, you know, momentum is a powerful thing. And this stadium now alive, and as you look around in the crowd, there's a lot of Philadelphia fans in this crowd, and they're starting to make some noise. And you can feel this stadium, kind of the momentum has shifted on that Smallwood kick return.
First and 15 following the penalty. Delayed handoff, it's Thompson. Browden and Brooks combining on the tackle. Midway through the second quarter, Redskins took a 14-0 lead. Eagles on offense with only 3 first downs. They've punted on all 4 of their possessions, but as you said, they've gained the momentum following the score on special teams.
And that's sometimes all it takes, you know, all 3 phases. And that's where the Redskins have really been beating people, is in special teams. Last week it was the Crowder 85-yard punt return. They've been excellent special team unit. The penalty puts them in a bad situation, and Philly takes advantage.
Second down and 14. Cousins throws, wide open, it's Thompson. Thompson out to the 28-yard line, brought down by Nolan Carroll.
These type of situations, these third down situations, 3rd and long, this is where the D linemen, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Connor Barwin, this is where you earn your money. Vinnie Curry, those big boys up front, this is where you go put heat on Kirk Cousins and say, you're not converting this one.
Redskins 3 for 5 today on 3rd down. They must get to the 35-yard line. Cousins throws, and there is a flag. Garçon defended by Carroll.
You see, at the end of the play, it's Carroll. It's going to be one of those back shoulder fades, and Carroll grabs him.
Pass interference. Defense number 22. Automatic first down. Spotted a foul.
Now, Kenny, we talk about Jim Schwartz liking 4-man pressure. There, he didn't feel like he was getting enough. He brought 2 extra. He brought 6. That puts the one-on-one outside. Carroll can't hold up.
Nolan Carroll, University of Maryland product. 23-yard penalty and a Redskins first down.
Hey, single 58.
First and 10 from midfield. On the toss, it's Thompson, and now the end around to Jamison Crowder. And Crowder is hit initially back at the 41. He did not think he was down, but he was ruled down on the tackle by Michael Kendricks. Loss of 9 on the play.
Well, what a great play by Kendricks, because that looked like there was a lot of green grass. And watch Kendricks. He's going to read it and then go attack it along with McLeod. And let's see if he is down. I think Crowder was exactly correct. He's never down.
He was on top of Michael Kendricks. His knee never hit the turf.
Not reviewable. He's ruled down. And I always trust the Duke guy. He knew he wasn't down.
Right. Although Kendricks is a Cal guy. So a loss of 9 on the play. Although it certainly looked like Crowder was not down. He knew it. Cousins on second down, moving to his left. Now throws, and it's complete for Crowder. For a Redskins first down inside the Eagles 40.
We come into today, Kenny, in the open, talking about Kirk Cousins. He's looked skittish thus far this year. He's not trusting his eyes. That's exactly what he's doing today. He has flipped the script because this is a confident throw. Back across your body, right in stride. Just great play by Kirk Cousins.
22-yard pass play. First and 10 from the Eagles 38. Off the fake to Jones. Picked off! Malcolm Jenkins! One man to beat, it's Cousins! And Jenkins will take it all the way for an Eagles score!
Malcolm Jenkins will get credited with that play, but credit Marcus Smith, who stayed home and did his job, put pressure on Kirk Cousins, made the ball float. Malcolm Jenkins pounced on it and took it to the house. Look at Marcus Smith up here. The boot away, but watch him do his job, get up in Kirk Cousins' face, make him throw right away, and Malcolm Jenkins undercuts. It's a great play by Marcus Smith. Great eyes by Malcolm Jenkins. And then playmaking ability to take it all the way to the end zone.
Malcolm Jenkins in his 100th NFL start returns the pick 64 yards for an Eagles touchdown, 6th of his career. Despite only 3 completions and 3 first downs, the Eagles have tied the game. Malcolm Jenkins in his 3rd season with the Eagles after 5 years in New Orleans with the interception return for a touchdown. Eagles get 14 points from their defense and special teams. They have only 42 total yards and 3 first downs on offense. And Kirk Cousins had completed 8 straight pass attempts prior to that pick by Jenkins. So the Redskins, who led 14-0 in less than 4 minutes, now find themselves tied. Well, one of the best news shows of the fall season is Lethal Weapon. Damon Wayans and Clayton Crawford have great chemistry, and the whole hour is non-stop fun. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Catch an all-new Lethal Weapon Wednesday on Fox.
Now, Kenny, it's interesting because we talked with Kirk Cousins on Friday, and one of the things he said is, look, by nature, I'm very hard on myself, and I got to learn to give myself some grace every now and then. When I screw up, it's okay, move on. This has been a struggle of his. We'll see if he can give himself some grace and forgive himself and move on in this game.
On first down, it's Matt Jones. Jones gains 4. Jay Gruden told us something very similar in talking about Kirk Cousins. He said Kirk has to forget bad plays, move on to the next series.
You got to have a quick memory. It's a lot like playing DB in this league, as you see Benny Logan down.
So Logan checked out by the Eagles medical staff. Back in a moment. Benny Logan of the Eagles walked off the field under his own power. Redskins and Eagles tied at 14. What a turn of events.
Yeah, big time. I mean, now it's got to be the Redskins. Can they respond? Can Kirk Cousins respond, give himself a break, and move on in this game? Bad plays happen. How quick can you forget that, learn from it, but move forward?
It all started with that penalty for excessive celebration after the Redskins took a 14-0 lead. This is Matt Jones, and Jones picks up a first down and a lot more out across midfield to the Eagles' 49-yard line. Jones gains 22.
Well, Sean McVay, the offensive coordinator, doing a nice job. Maybe your quarterback struggles coming back from interception, so what do? You run it. And tremendous blocking up front, and I like the way Matt Jones is running. Downhill style of running, breaking through those tackles.
Jones averaging over 8 yards per carry today. Here's Jones again. Jones to the Eagles' 42.
You know, one thing, Kenny, this defensive line, really what they tell these guys, don't worry about any gaps. Watch these guys just get off. And they say the linebackers will make you right. Well, it doesn't always happen. Look at the linemen upfield and the run going the other way. Sometimes you have to make sure you are in your gap. They don't teach that. They teach get population to the football, as they call it.
On the toss, it's Kelly. Nice change of direction. And Robert Kelly has a Redskins first down as he continues to run well. As we approach the 2-minute warning, gain of 7 for Kelly.
It's a good change of pace. He comes in, he's a little smaller than Matt Jones, a little more quickness. Here you see the vision cutting all the way back.
Redskins averaging over 7 yards per carry. They are on the move, tied at 14. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. There's Matt Jones, Robert Kelly. Redskins with 119 yards on the ground, 250 overall for the Redskins offense. Eagles with only 42 yards, but they have a touchdown on defense and a touchdown on special teams. As Thompson breaks free. Finally tackled at the 32-yard line by Jordan Hicks.
Well, they have 3 backs, and what you want is 3 backs that are all a little different. And Chris Thompson is certainly different than Matt Jones and Rob Kelly. He is the smaller 5'8", 195, and you see the bigger Matt Jones. You see Rob Kelly. Thompson, the real change of pace, quick and fast.
2nd and 5. Cousins going deep for Jackson, and he cannot hang on to it.
DeSean Jackson, he's been wanting the ball. He does his job in terms of gaining the separation. And Kirk Cousins, you cannot throw it any better. Got to catch that, DeSean Jackson. He'll be the first to tell you that.
That's another drop. Grant, Davis earlier, and now Jackson.
Talk about leaving a lot out there on the field. It's kind of been the story of this season. Early today, it hasn't been. Right there, the drop bites him in a big way.
3rd down and 5. Cousins fires over the middle. It's Garcon. Pierre Garcon with a Redskins first down. Tackled at the 19-yard line by Rodney McLeod after a 13-yard pickup.
I want to show you something I'm watching before this. Look where Rodney McLeod is. He's up in New York somewhere. He's completely out of the play. Kirk Cousins says, you're going to play that deep. I'll throw it right underneath. Got to get on the screen, Rodney McLeod. He's a fine player. His alignment hurt him there.
Timeout taken by the Redskins. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt and the gang. Brady's return to Foxborough. Giants home for the Ravens, and the Browns looking for their first win. They are in Nashville. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. 1:03 remaining. 2nd quarter. Redskins with 2 timeouts. They are in the red zone, John, for the 3rd time following their struggles in the red zone up until this point, but today 2 for 2.
Kenny, if I'm Jay Gruden at halftime, we'll see how they finish this, but you're going in at halftime saying, guys, we're moving the ball. We have 270 yards total offense. They're not moving it. Let's just eliminate the defensive scores for Philly on the special teams, and we're going to be just fine.
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side. Cousins looking right, throws, it's Garcon inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line of the Eagles, a 15-yard catch and run.
I think I like most those last 2 throws by Cousins. Decisive, aggressive throws on the money.
1st and goal from the 4. Crowder, slot to the left. Cousins looking end zone, he throws. Intended for Vernon Davis with Jordan Hicks on the coverage. Clock stops, 30 seconds remaining.
Now, I tell you, when you watch these Philly linebackers, one thing they can all do is run. And Jordan Hicks, you see the coverage on the outside, the hold on the outside by Jalen Mills. But Jordan Hicks does a great job just with his speed of making enough distraction for Vernon Davis. But that, you could argue, is a ball that Vernon Davis should catch. So Kirk Cousins very much doing his job. They got to catch him.
2nd and goal. Cousins throws, and that one is broken up. Garcon, the intended receiver. Mills, a rookie out of LSU, getting a piece of it.
Well, Malcolm Jenkins, the veteran safety, told us about the rookie corner, Jalen Mills. One thing he does not lack is confidence.
No.
They're playing Pittsburgh. He wanted Antonio Brown, so he's not afraid, and there he plays it extremely well. Textbook breaking up that ball, fighting through the hands of Garcon.
26 seconds on the clock. 3rd and goal from the Eagles 4. Cousins to the end zone. Again looking for Deshaun Jackson. And again, it is Mills on the coverage and a late hit on Cousins. There is a flag.
We're going to get Fletcher Cox for roughing the passer.
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 91. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
And you don't know whether it was for being late, too many steps, or for going to the head. But either way, John Perry calls it right away.
Yeah, huge penalty. It would have been 4th down.
Enormous.
But instead, an automatic 1st down. Redskins have 2 timeouts and 20 seconds.
That gives them the ability, if they choose, to run the football.
1st and goal from the 2. Again, it's Mills on the coverage.
And look, I understand you got a matchup you like, but I watched the same thing here 4 weeks ago against the Dallas Cowboys. They threw 3 of these fades. It didn't work then. It's not working now. You got to find another way to get it in the end zone.
Sean McVay, Redskins offensive coordinator. 2nd and goal from the 2. The handoff is to Thompson, and Chris Thompson is stopped short as the officials come charging in.
Looked like he had a pretty good surge. We'll see if he got the ball in.
Redskins use their 2nd timeout.
This will give them an opportunity, along with the timeout, to stop the clock to see if this ball got in. Going to be tough to overturn that, Kenny, because so many bodies around him. I don't know if you'd ever get a definitive look.
So the Redskins use their 2nd timeout. And they send in an extra blocker in Tyan Secchi. As we take one more look. Not ruled a touchdown on the field. Redskins had 3 opportunities from the 4. The penalty. This will be 3rd and goal from the 2 with 10 seconds remaining. Now Kelly and Jones in the backfield, and the Eagles will use a timeout.
You're seeing these kind of timeouts. It's almost an NBA timeout. See the set that they're in, and now it gives Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz and their defense a chance to get in their right personnel, to get in the best defense according to what the Redskins are showing.
Let's take a look at what's coming up at halftime on the Visa Halftime Report.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll check in on Tom Brady's first game of the year at Foxborough. Eli Manning and the New York Giants try to turn things around against the Ravens. And Cleveland looks for their first win of the season in Music City. Make sure you join me and these guys on the Visa Halftime Show.
All right, thanks, Kurt. We look forward to it. 3rd and goal from the 1. Matt Jones, touchdown.
Watch Niles Paul. A key block on Bradham. He reaches him. And then Matt Jones just walks in. But again, a penalty. Fletcher Cox with the roughing the passer on a big 3rd down. And that extended the drive for the Redskins. It ends up in a touchdown for the Redskins.
So a couple of key penalties leading to scores, one on each side. Redskins were facing a 4th down if not for the Cox penalty. And the Redskins finally capitalized. They are 3 for 3 in the red zone. 3 touchdowns in the first half. Hopkins adds the extra point. Matt Jones, 3rd touchdown of the season. Redskins back on top. So after the Eagles gained the momentum with the touchdown on special teams and another one on defense, Redskins march 13 plays, 75 yards, regain the lead.
And responses are so key. And I thought Kirk Cousins, the best thing for the Redskins, not only the way they've been moving it throughout the season, the way they finished that drive, but Kirk Cousins responding from the interception. A lot of times this year, that's really shaken him. He looked confident on that drive. He threw the ball with authority. You got to love that if you're a Redskins fan.
Sure did. Took a number of shots to the end zone, and Redskins had some timeouts, so they're able to stop the clock, and Matt Jones runs it in.
They did, and you know, the interesting thing for Carson Wentz in this Philly offense, they've never really gotten they've owned time of possession this year. This week it's been flipped. Only 10 minutes of time of possession. So a different style of game for Philly. Let's see how they adjust.
Redskins closing in on 300 yards of offense. Eagles with only 42. But as you said, they've hardly had the football. There is Smallwood. The return to kickoff, 86 yards for a touchdown. Earlier this quarter, only his 3rd career return. And he brought it back all the way. Hopkins boots it through the end zone. So with 6 seconds remaining, Carson Wentz and the Eagles offense back out onto the field. Eagles with only 3 first downs, 3 completions for Wentz. Doug Peterson's Eagles have gone on offense 4 times in this half. 4 possessions, 4 punts.
Yeah, and I think one thing, Kenny, at halftime they're going to have to find out. The right tackle, Halapuli Vaitai, I'm trying, Big V struggled against Ryan Kerrigan. They're going to have to find an answer for that. Are they going to have to give him some help? I think so.
Halapuli Vaitai.
Thank you.
We mentioned Kerrigan, 2.5 sacks to set the tone early for the Redskins. Kirk Cousins with 2 touchdown passes. Matt Jones ran one in. 21-14 Washington at the half. Time for the Visa Halftime Report to Los Angeles. We go. Kurt Menefee, take it away. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Down he goes.
Look at that jersey, tattered and torn, right?
Cousins to the end zone. Crowder, touchdown. Smallwood still going all the way to the end zone for an Eagles touchdown.
There's your response.
That was today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Carson Wentz and the Eagles trailing the Redskins 21-14. Washington will get the ball first in the second half. Kenny Albert and John Lynch. Eagles scoring their touchdowns on defense and special teams. Redskins getting 3 touchdowns from their offense.
And as a result, we haven't seen Carson Wentz out of the second quarter. I think he had 2 snaps. I mean, it was incredible. So, you know, Philly's got to do a good job here at getting the ball back after they kick, to get the ball back in their rookie quarterback's hands.
Second half is underway. Out across the 20 to the 21 is Will Blackman. Down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Hey there, Kenny. As the Eagles struggle to get their run game going, Doug Peterson says, you know, the run game will be our best friend in this half. He also said that he thinks that defensively, just being more gap sound should help them with what the Eagles, or the Washington has been doing against them today. As for Jay Gruden, he said that he was proud of Kirk Cousins coming back from that interception. He felt he did a great job. Defensively, he said a lot of Ryan Kerrigan and the guys in the second half. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Pam. A look at the first half numbers. As you mentioned, the Eagles hardly had the football, especially in the second quarter. Only 10.5 minutes. And now movement, Fletcher Cox. More penalty flags.
Encroachment defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's one that's always bothered me. Fletcher Cox, a great player. I played with one of the greatest ever, Warren Sapp. Rarely jumped off sides. The ball's right in front of you. Watch the ball. Don't listen to the hard count. And Fletcher Cox knows it.
Rubber Cox committed a big penalty at the end of the second quarter.
Hey,
Roughing the passer, which helped lead to the last Redskins touchdown. 1st and 5. On the handoff, it's Matt Jones, and he's met by Bo Allen back at the 22-yard line for a loss.
Well, Bo Allen in there. Remember, we saw Benny Logan go out with the injury, and Bo Allen takes Spencer Long right back to Matt Jones for the tackle for the loss.
So the Redskins now facing a 2nd down and 8, early 3rd quarter. They lead by a touchdown. Kirk Cousins on 2nd down with time. And he throws it out of bounds.
There's a great job of protection by the offensive line. But Kirk Cousins looks over at Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson, and that's been a common look for Deshaun Jackson of late. When he's not getting the ball, he's waving his arms. One thing he's got to remember, and Deshaun's done a nice job in that first half, you got to catch it when he throws it to you as well. Kirk Cousins didn't raise his hands when you dropped that touchdown, so I think he could do without some of that.
4 catches in the first half for Jackson. 3rd down and 8. Redskins must get to the 31 for a first down. Cousins steps up and throws, and it's caught for a first down and more. Out to the 45-yard line, Pierre Garçon mills the tackle, a 22-yard completion.
People talk about working the pocket. Here's a great job of Kirk Cousins working that pocket. You're going to see the outside rush, all that green grass. He finds a way to work up, and as you do that, things start to develop and uncover in that secondary. It's a really nice job by Kirk Cousins, working the pocket and then with the accurate throw.
Deshaun Jackson limped off the field. He's replaced by Rashad Ross.
Hey, Rico.
Chris Thompson in the backfield takes the handoff from Cousins on first down. We talked about the Redskins' run game, outstanding in the first half. Thompson gains a couple as Deshaun Jackson returns after sitting out one play. Robert Kelly with that 45-yard run. Cousins numbers. Deshaun Jackson against his former squad.
And I think Cousins, minus the one interception, which was ill-advised, he was rushed, kind of floated one going to his left. Remember, he had a couple drops in there, so those numbers would be much better had they caught everything he had thrown.
2nd down and 8. Setting up the screen for Thompson. And Thompson picks up a Redskins first down to the Eagles' 42-yard line.
This is something, Kenny, we saw last week with Detroit. You've got an attacking style defense. Remember, everything upfield. What do? You put a chill on that rush by screening it, and look at those guys out front. Beautiful execution. So at times when you're aggressive pass rushing defense, people are going to use that aggressiveness against you. Detroit did it well last week. Washington is today.
John, if you take away the kneel down with seconds running off in the second quarter, the Redskins have now run the last 32 plays. The Eagles have not had the ball for over a quarter aside from that kneel down. Here's Thompson inside the 40 to the 35 and close to another Redskins first down. Stop a yard shy, so Chris Thompson continues to run well. Let's listen.
Good crack into the pads at the end of that play. But Kenny, I think the irony, as we talked about before half, is Philly came in leading the league in time of possession, and here we haven't seen them in 30 some odd plays.
Yeah.
Redskins have had the ball for over 23 minutes. The Eagles 10.5. Here's Jones. Matt Jones cuts to the outside. So Jones picks up another first down, and the Redskins are inside the 20 once again. 16 yards for Jones.
Well, Pam Oliver communicated that Doug Peterson said we got to get our gap control under control, and there is no gap control right now. Look at that. That's a big old gap, and Matt Jones finds it. Philly does need to find that gap control, but this Washington offensive line doing a fine job of paving holes for their running backs.
From the 19 on first down, it's Jones again. Nice stutter step. Cuts it back to the inside, and there's a flag at the end of the play after Jones gained 3.
Legal block in the back. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's on Crowder.
Crowder hasn't done much wrong in the last couple of weeks. There he is, and watch him trying to get that block on Malcolm Jenkins. It just gives him that shove in the back that frees Matt Jones. Good call by the officials.
10-yard penalty. Redskins push back to the 29. Jim Schwartz, Baltimore native, former linebacker at Georgetown University. First down and 20. Cousins looking, can't find anyone. Chased by Cox. Catch is made down at the 28-yard line. Another flag. Garcon with the reception.
Watch at the end of this play, face mask. And it's Ron Brooks who has a hold of that face mask. Pierre Garcon calling for it, and he got the call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. After this was to the goal, automatic first down.
They flagged the guy celebrating his birthday today.
Well, you can get a face mask even on your birthday. And you got caught red-handed, Ron. You had a handful of face masks. That's a big penalty. Again, puts the Redskins in the red zone where they've been very good today.
How about that? Total yards differential of 299. So Ron Brooks on his 28th birthday is flagged. His set of downs for the Redskins. High snap. The handoff to Jones. And Matt Jones gets bottled up. Jordan Hicks. So the Eagles have now gone 19 minutes of game time without running an offensive play aside from the kneel down. And of course, a large part due to the fact that they scored 2 touchdowns on defense and special teams to get back into this game.
53. Yes.
Second and 10. Cousins fires, and it's nearly picked off in the end zone. It's Malcolm Jenkins again. He had the interception earlier, returned it 64 yards for a score.
Well, Kirk Cousins will tell you, he told us the other day, you feel these safeties when you play the Philadelphia Eagles. Nice confident throw, but that's just Malcolm Jenkins, the bigger body, out fighting Deshaun Jackson for that ball. You see him run right through Deshaun Jackson. A good job by Deshaun Jackson at least to break it up, but really what he needs to do is position his body in front of Jenkins. Cousins lets it go, and Deshaun Jackson barely.
Turned into the defender. Now on 3rd and 10. Cousins fires downfield off balance and unable to connect with Pierre Garçon, so the Redskins will send out the field goal unit.
And that's a win for the Philadelphia Eagles, stopping them down in that red zone, but they're going to have to fix this run defense. It's not been good, and Washington is really hurting them with the run game.
Here's Dustin Hopkins. He's missed only once this year. NFC Special Teams Player of the Month in September. 32-yard attempt. 1 yard closer than an extra point. And Hopkins' kick is good, extending the Redskins' lead, but the Eagles able to keep Washington out of the end zone.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
There's Carson Wentz, John. You might remember Carson. He was on the field back in the early portion of the second quarter.
That guy from North Dakota State?
That's him.
I haven't seen him in an entire quarter. Unbelievable. It's one way to keep him off the field.
There's Wendell Smallwood, who returned to kick 86 yards for an Eagles touchdown in the second quarter. Redskins controlling the football for the first 6:20 of the third. So finally, it's the Eagles offense coming back out. Redskins, Kirk Cousins, 10-point lead. Great job by the Redskins on Monday. Pierre Garçon and Ricky Jean-Francois headed down to Haiti. They brought a plane full of medical supplies with them.
Awesome job by those two guys, by Dan Snyder. He gave them their plane, allowed them to go down and bring much needed medical supplies, and really great job to Pierre Garçon, Ricky Jean-Francois, and Dan Snyder for making that happen.
Both players with relatives in Haiti, as the Eagles are finally back on offense. Darren Sproles gaining 6 yards on first down. Again, taking away that kneel down. 38 straight plays run by the Redskins, and Garçon, Francois on their cleats, keeping the folks down in Haiti at the top of their minds at all times. So again, a tremendous job by Redskins, their owner Daniel Snyder, their staff, and the two players. Here's Sproles. There is a flag. Duke Iheanacho knocking Sproles out of bounds. Nice catch by John Parry.
Really holding. Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty replay. Second down.
That's on the center, Jason Kelsey.
You know what causes penalties, though, is when the defense attacks it. They saw Sproles coming, and Mason Foster was shot out of a cannon. Watch Mason Foster. He really forces this with the way he attacks it. It forces Kelsey to reach out, and then Breland comes up. So the Skins playing more aggressive than I've seen them play defensively this year.
John Parry wants the clock reset. Second down and 14. midway through the third quarter with the Redskins leading by 10. From the 21-yard line, Wentz looking to throw. And it's complete. That's Aguilar. His first reception of the game as we head to Los Angeles. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. We head to New England. Brady's first home game of the year and Gronk's first touchdown of the year coming in week 6. It's a 4-yard score. Puts the Pats up 19-14. They're back in the red zone right now. Kenny, John, and Pam.
And Carissa just hit on Gronk's first touchdown. I saw something last week. Said he's walking in the grocery store and people are looking at him like, what's wrong with you? You're killing me in fantasy.
That ever happened to you? Defensive points, fantasy football?
It wasn't around.
On 3rd and 2, it's Wentz. And Carson Wentz picks up the first down out across the 35.
With Carson Wentz, that zone read is very much alive. He's incredibly athletic for a guy who stands 6'5", 235 pounds. And you see the time of possession. We just haven't seen enough of Carson Wentz or Darren Sproles or anybody else on that offense because they haven't been on the field.
Both Eagles touchdowns coming in the second quarter. One on special teams, one defensively on the 64-yard return by Malcolm Jenkins. First and 10, 36-yard line. This is Smallwood, and he is met by Chris Baker.
Whew, he hit that hole, and he came back out of the hole quicker than he went in. Watch Baker right here. Talk about controlling the line of scrimmage. Boom, grabs him with one arm and shoots him back. Great play by Baker. That's from physics class, right? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
There you go.
Taught by Chris Baker.
Loss of 1, second down and 11. 3 receivers set. Wentz in trouble, able to get rid of it, but Smallwood could not make the catch. Again, it was Kerrigan with the pressure. He had 2.5 sacks of Wentz in the first half.
He is making his presence known today. He has from the very start of this game with a half a sack on the first play. And Vaitai just, you're playing a rookie. Lane Johnson was playing incredibly well. It looked to me like that was his man. He simply let him go right into Carson Wentz's face.
Vaitai, 5th round pick out of TCU. 3rd down and 11. Eagles must get to the 46 for a first down. Wentz in trouble, moving to his left, stays on his feet, now throws, and the catch is made by Green Beckham. There's a flag as Green Beckham stays on his feet and is finally wrestled out of bounds at the Redskins' 27-yard line. But we'll check with referee John Parry.
It's coming back. What a play by Wentz, though. It showed you some of his playmaking ability.
And escapability.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, 28. 10-yard penalty replay. 3rd down.
It's on Smallwood. That erases a 38-yard catch and run.
Well, let's watch Wendell Smallwood try to see when this penalty occurred. Likely when Wentz breaks the pocket. Perhaps right there. Not a lot there, though.
With the shove to Terrence Garvin. So instead of a first down in Redskins territory, it will be 3rd down and 21.
And here's where it's really difficult to protect that rookie quarterback. Because 3rd and 21, you got to get receivers out. Well, if you have to keep people in, it's one less receiver out to help Vaitai at right tackle.
Wentz on 3rd down, the screen to Smallwood. And Smallwood takes it out to the 39, about 6 yards shy of the marker. So the Eagles will punt it away following their first series in over a full quarter.
And Ryan Kerrigan just making life miserable for Vaitai and Carson Wentz. He just can't. It's the inside move every time, too. It's the inside move that Kerrigan's beating him on, and Carson Wentz getting very familiar with Ryan Kerrigan in his face.
So Donnie Jones out to punt for the 5th time. Crowder waiting, takes it at the 13. And Josh Huff again downfield. He's made a couple of nice plays on special teams today for the Eagles, who trail Kirk Cousins and the Washington Redskins by 10, late 3rd quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Join the Better Network because better matters.
It's Carson Wentz. Victories in his first 3 starts. Then last week in Detroit, Eagles committed 14 penalties, lost the game by 1. 9 penalties today. They trail by 10.
It's really hurting them, too. I mean, we saw that last play by Wentz, and Green Beckham negated by the penalty. And it hurt him last week. It's hurting him today.
Redskins take over 1st and 10, 15-yard line. Matt Jones in the backfield. Off the fake from Cousins to Jones. Pass over the middle is caught for a 1st down. Out to the 36-yard line. Pierre Garçon, gain of 21.
Again, we came into the game talking about Kirk Cousins struggling with confidence. This oozes confidence. That's what it is. He's getting back, hitting, and letting it go. And you can see how the ball, how he's expressing the ball. When you throw on time in this league, you aren't going to get in trouble. He's been struggling to do that, but he's letting it go today. And Kirk Cousins having himself a heck of a game.
Hey, middle, 58, middle,
6th reception by Garçon. From the 35-yard line again. Play fake to Jones. And a couple of flags are thrown as Cousins was under pressure.
Be on Vernon Davis on Brandon Graham. He had his hands full and didn't want to hurt his quarterback, so he held on to Brandon Graham.
Offense, number 85, 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
There it is. That's a good call.
Yes. So this will push the Redskins back 10 yards. 1st down and 20. Vernon Davis scored the 2nd touchdown, gave the Redskins 14-0 lead.
Hey, single 53. Ricky, 58.
Matt Jones. And we head downstairs, check in with Pam Oliver. Pam.
Hey, Kenny, defensively, the Eagles are down a starter defensive tackle, Benny Logan. He was cleared to return, but that's since been changed. Logan has a groin injury and won't come back. Meanwhile, one of their rotation guys is listed as questionable. Marcus Smith also has a groin injury. Back to you.
Now that's Bo Allen, who replaced Benny Logan up front.
And that hurts, losing Benny Logan, because Benny Logan, very good run stopper. And they're very much struggling to stop the Redskins running the football today.
2nd down and 15. Cousins over the top. It's Thompson, breaks a tackle. And Thompson takes it out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 14, and Nolan Carroll is the injured Eagle. Already without their other starting corner, Leotis McKelvin. Back in a moment. Here's Nolan Carroll, Eagles right corner, injured on the last play.
And Kenny, what saves the Eagles here is they're really out of corners if you go to their 3-corner package. But Malcolm Jenkins, former corner, he has that kind of cover ability, so he can slide down in the nickel or sub packages and play the corner position. It's exactly what he's going to do right here. You have Jalen Watkins, the other safety, in, and Jenkins will go play the slot for the Eagles defense.
5 defensive backs with Jalen Mills on the field as well. You mentioned Jalen Watkins, brother of Sammy. There's Watkins.
There's Malcolm Jenkins on a tough cover on Jamison Crowder.
3rd down and 2. Cousins rolling right. Can't find anyone and throws it out of bounds. Pressure from Graham, Curry, and Watkins.
Kenny, Malcolm Jenkins been playing for a while. This is what you call a veteran move. Look at the hook there. He's holding on to that hip, but he does it discreetly, and that shows Cousins he's not open. It's a veteran move by Malcolm Jenkins.
Remember, Jenkins drafted as a corner out of Ohio State. So he's a wily veteran. Darren Sproles back deep. Sproles lets it bounce. And then fields it inside the 10. Nowhere to go. So the Eagles are pinned deep. Late third quarter, trailing the Redskins by 10. Screening saves lives, and the NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more about a crucial catch day on October 25th. Find out how you can help make a crucial catch at NFL.com/pink. Redskins involved in so many charity endeavors. This month, the Redskins Charitable Foundation and the Women of the Washington Redskins kicked off the organization's breast cancer awareness efforts with a charity ride at Soul Cycle, John, 2 weeks ago. Here's Ryan Matthews as the Eagles trail by 10, late third quarter. Matthews gains 5.
See the rushing yards, the Washington Redskins, they were the defense struggling, stopping the run coming in, but today it's been their offense running it effectively against the Eagles defense.
Second down and 5. Matthews again found a hole and picks up the Philadelphia first down out to the 24. That's only the 5th first down gained by the Eagles today.
But you see the 3 tight end look. And Zach Ertz going to come around and lead the way with the kick out block and Ryan Matthews. That's a big gaping hole. Mason Foster does a nice job limiting the gain because it looked like it was going to be a lot more than that.
You mentioned Zach Ertz. He does not have a catch today. He's had some huge games against the Redskins. A 15 reception game 2 years ago, 13 in one game last year. Nothing so far today. Time winding down in this third quarter as Trent Murphy comes up to make the tackle.
You mentioned Ertz and his lack of production today. I think part of that, Kenny, number one, they haven't been on the field much at all. Number two, you're worried about your right tackle and protection. You're leaving your tight ends in a lot to block.
Right, we've seen a number of plays for the Eagles today with 3 tight ends on the field to help out the right tackle, Vaitai. Fourth quarter coming up. Redskins lead by 10.
The 163rd meeting between these two teams. Wilbert Montgomery, Ron Jaworski, Wes Hopkins hitting Rutledge. Good stuff, stealing flags. All the stuff a rivalry's all about, Kenny.
Sonny Jurgensen has seen it from both sides. Redskins have won the last 3. Sonny in the Redskins radio booth with Larry Michael and Chris Cooley.
I wish he'd relax a little bit.
Rivalry dating back to 1934. No, Sonny did not play in that one. Second down and 9 as we begin the fourth quarter. Wentz looking to throw. Intended for Green Beckham. Only 5 completions for Carson Wentz. He is now 5 for 12.
Good tight coverage from Bashad Breeland. Breeland, so commonly referred to as the other corner now in Washington with Josh Norman, and really didn't start the year playing well. He got hurt. And Breeland talked about this week, used that as an opportunity to kind of reboot, go back and focus on the details. He's playing better today.
Right, missed the last 2 weeks. Gorman on the other side. And the play is blown dead.
False start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That's on the left tackle, John, the 8-time Pro Bowler, Jason Peters.
If you like left tackle play, you're watching the right game, because both 71s, Jason Peters for the Eagles and Trent Williams, the left tackle for the Washington Redskins, 2 of the finest in the league. Peters jumped a little early there.
10th Eagles penalty, 14 last week, and their loss to the Lions. Third down and 14. Wentz fires downfield, and Jordan Matthews makes the catch. A spectacular catch by Matthews in Redskins territory. 54-yard pass play.
Spectacular catch, but even a more spectacular throw. Look at the location of this ball by Carson Wentz in stride to Jordan Matthews. Great concentration. Can't place it any better.
From the Washington 26. On the delay. It is Barner. So the Eagles threatening. Trailing by 10.
I like this, Kenny. They haven't been on the field much. Now playing off the momentum with a little tempo. Getting up to the line of scrimmage, and Carson Wentz can handle this.
By the way, for Wentz, on his first 12 attempts, 54 yards. That one pass to Matthews, 54 yards. Doubling his total for the game. Second down and 4. That pass was deflected and then nearly caught by Wentz. Ziggy Hood getting a piece of it.
There's Ziggy Hood right there, going to get his hands up, but watch Wentz almost go and get his own deflected pass. Trying to target Zach Ertz there, trying to get him involved in the game.
Nearly targeted himself.
Will Compton, you see audibilizing. It's not just the offense that can check in and out of plays.
Third down and 4. This is Barner, and he will not make it to the marker. Preston Smith with the tackle on Kenyon Barner from behind.
And Kenny, you can't help but think that they're a little concerned about their ability to protect, particularly at that right tackle position. Them running it on 3rd and 4, I think, indicates that nervousness of being able to block Ryan Kerrigan and company.
So down by 10 with over 13 minutes remaining. They'll look for 3. Caleb Sturgis, 38-yard attempt. And the kick is straight through. So on the Eagles' longest drive of the day, they get points from their offense for the first time. Trail the Redskins by 7.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's and by the new Bacon King sandwich, only at Burger King.
Just outside our nation's capital, Redskins lead the Eagles by 7. Just under 13 minutes remaining. Kickoff will be taken out. And tackled shy of the 10 is Thompson by Chris Maragos, one of the stars on special teams for the Eagles. Well, every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics. Tomorrow, they'll be joined by NFL insider Michael Lombardi and former Packers great Greg Jennings live in studio. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 a.m. to noon Eastern, only on FS1. John, I know you had a chance to join the guys recently.
I did. And they might be talking about this guy, Chris Maragos, unblocked. And
from undisputed to unblocked.
Unblocked.
So now the Redskins start from their 10-yard line. Matt Jones takes it out across the 20 for a Redskins first down.
Well, we talked about left tackles and having 2 of the best in football. Watch Trent Williams right there. Just collapsing Bo Allen down, and then Jameis Crowder comes, that time doesn't get Jenkins in the back, but key block for Matt Jones. And Matt Jones, like I said, his coach on Friday riding him, run behind your pads. You're 230 pounds, and Matt Jones doing that effectively today.
Averaging 6.5 per carry, gained 13 on that run. New set of downs for the Redskins as Cousins throws and he finds his man down the sidelines. Vernon Davis into Eagles territory to the Philadelphia 40-yard line.
A newsflash for the league. Vernon Davis is not done. Malcolm Jenkins can really run, and he just flat out outran Malcolm Jenkins. And Kenny, the story has been misfiring on the deep balls. They worked on it hard this week, and Kirk Cousins is connecting on those balls, not leaving a lot of real estate on the field. They're connecting today.
That's his longest pass of the day, 37 yards to Davis, had a 35-yarder to Deshaun Jackson. Now the toss, it's Thompson, and Chris Thompson stays on his feet, gains 6 to the Eagles 34.
Well, Kenny, the running game for the Washington Redskins has been on point, and it frankly hasn't really mattered who's running the ball. There's Rob Kelly. Here's Chris Thompson, who ran that last play, and Matt Jones, the big bruiser, going right through him. This offensive line, you've got to give them and their running game coordinator, Bill Callahan, a lot of credit, because whoever's running it has a lot of space, and the production has been incredible today.
Second down and 4. There is a flag. Cousins chased by Graham. Gets rid of it. And we'll check with the referee, John Parry.
Another penalty on the Eagles.
Offside, defense number 23 moved into the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Rodney McLeod.
He's disguising, trying to get up there for the blitz, and just steps and just sloppy football. They did it last week, and it cost them a win. We'll see if it's going to cost. It's hard to win in this league, particularly hard when you're hurting yourself.
11th Philadelphia penalty for 99 yards. Redskins send in an extra blocker, Ty Ekseki. Timeout taken by Washington. Head coach Jay Gruden on the sideline, calling timeout with 10:41 remaining. Redskins on the move. America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Others, the Seattle Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. Two terrific matchups.
Two great matchups.
First and 10 Redskins from the Eagles 29. Matt Jones tried to cut it back inside, but he is tackled by Jordan Hicks. Loss of 3 on the play. Second and 13.
Well, you see Brandon Sheriff and that offensive line for the Washington Redskins. These guys right now have been the players of the game. They have dominated the line of scrimmage. They've kept Kirk Cousins clean. And these holes in the run game, they're just gaping holes. And I think you can't credit enough also Bill Callahan and Sean McVay. Some of the offensive minds, the scheme, the way they're attacking this aggressive attacking defense of the Eagles.
Cousins fires downfield. Too far for Jackson. As we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, nothing's too far for Odell Beckham, at least not on this one. Eli Manning and Beckham looking up for a 75-yard score. Against the Ravens, Beckham 2 touchdowns his last 2 games after none the first 4 weeks. That made it 17-13 and a little extra celebration on the sideline. No penalty, though, because it is on the sideline. Kenny?
All right, Kurt, so the Giants in come-from-behind fashion. Last Sunday, it was the Redskins who trailed Baltimore in the second half, came back to win the game. Third down and 13. Redskins must get to the 19-yard line for a first down. And some miscommunication on that one, as the pass was too short for Pierre Garçon, and the Redskins, leading by 7, will send out the field goal unit.
There's Hopkins in warm-up from 57 yards. Now, obviously, no, just his center and holder, so kind of on air. Kind of doinked, but certainly had the distance.
This a 50-yard attempt. His season long is 49. career long 54. Hopkins from 50. It is straight through. Redskins back up by 10. One more look. Tressway placed it down. Hopkins connects.
Ace Game is sponsored by Domino's. Order online and track your order.
Well, Dustin Hopkins having a fine year, but look at this, Kenny. I mean, this is from 50 yards. And this is well up the net. I mean, that would have been good from much further. Dustin Hopkins having a great year.
7-play, 58-yard drive. Redskins lead by 10. Josh Huff will take it out. Hesitated initially. And Huff will not get to the 25. Out to the 21-yard line with 9.5 to play. Tonight, National League Championship Series continues from Wrigley Field. Game 2, it's the Cubs and the Dodgers on FS1 following the Cubs victory last night.
Tell you, Adrian Gonzalez did his part to make it interesting, turning around a Aroldis Chapman 103-mile-an-hour fastball for a single up the middle. Unbelievable hitter he is.
And then Miguel Montero with the big blow, grand slam for the Cubs. Well, Jay Gruden's Redskins with a 10-point lead, looking to win their 4th straight. Carson Wentz and the Eagles go back to work from the 21-yard line. Wentz on first down, handing it off to Ryan Matthews, who picks up a first down out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. 21 yards for Matthews.
Remember, this was the story coming in. The Eagles ran it well. The Redskins struggled. Look at Barber with the big block, as well as Peters. Just big holes. We're seeing it on both sides, and Ryan Matthews, a nice job exploding through the hole for big yardage.
Darren Sproles in the backfield as we approach 9 minutes remaining. This is Sproles. And Sproles. And there's a flag as Sproles is taken down after a short gain.
Another penalty on the Eagles. You can't win having this many penalties 2 weeks in a row.
Holding. Offense number 52. 10-yard penalty. First down.
John Parry announced 52. It's probably 62. Jason Kelsey.
Kelsey's the center right here in the middle. He's working against Cullen Jenkins.
Jenkins, a former Eagle.
As he got thrown to the side, he holds on with that left hand.
12th Eagles penalty. 7 have gone against their defense. First down and 20 following the flag. Wentz complete for a first down. It's Green Beckham into Redskins territory to the Washington 44-yard line, a 23-yard pass play.
Well, you're going to see what we call a dig route by Green Beckham behind the linebackers, and he's a huge target. He's 6'5", 235 pounds, and Wentz just rips it to Green Beckham.
8 minutes remaining. From the Redskins 44. Wentz fires, and it's Ertz. His first catch today. Zach Ertz. Another Eagles first down as he gains 23.
Now, I've been telling people all day how impressive this young man. I think the last 2 throws, and on both plays, Kenny, he reset protection. He audible changed into those plays to get the ball downfield. This kid is a special player.
3 receivers set from the Washington 22. It's Sproles. And Sproles is inside the 15, stays on his feet, down to the Redskins 11. Another Eagles first down.
Well, I'm going to come clean to you, Kenny. There's 2 players that I have reoccurring nightmares. One is Barry Sanders. The other is this guy, Darren Sproles. I'll have flashbacks in the middle of the night, and it's that guy. And you know what? He hasn't changed at all. He looks like the same guy I played against years ago.
It's Sproles down to the 9. And you mentioned Barry Sanders. Sproles has passed Sanders today. All-purpose yards. He's now 9th all time. As the catch is made by Aguilar. Down at the Redskins 5. So some pretty impressive company for Darren Sproles.
Unbelievable. And Darren Sproles was limping a little before. And they bring it on Kenyon Barner, but Sproles waved him off. But look at that company. Barry Sanders on one side, LaDainian Tomlinson. That's football royalty.
Here comes Brent Selleck. 3rd down and 5 for the Eagles. They can pick up a 1st down without reaching the end zone. And the play is blown dead. Penalty markers prior to the snap. It's a false start, Philadelphia.
Self-inflicted wounds killing the Eagles' chances.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Right guard Brandon Brooks. That is the 13th Philadelphia penalty.
Here he is, the right guard. And he moves early. That's enough to warrant the call. Interesting that prior to the penalty, the Eagles were again running it on 3rd and 5, just like last time, 3rd and 4.
Now facing a 3rd down and 10. Selleck slot to the right. Sproles in the backfield. Wentz on 3rd down. It is through the hands of Ertz.
Wentz saw the matchup he liked. Zach Ertz working against Will Blackman. Throws a perfect ball. Ertz very uncharacteristically lets it go right through his hands. He may walk in the end zone if he catches that. Beautiful throw. Ertz typically catches that and has to catch that ball.
So with 5:25 remaining, Eagles send out the field goal unit once again. 28-yard attempt for Sturgis. Hit from 38 earlier in this quarter. The kick is good. So the Eagles pulled back to within 7. But they are kept out of the end zone by the Redskins. 8-play, 69-yard drive. Another field goal for the Eagles. The Eagles have not scored an offensive touchdown today. A defensive touchdown, 1 on special teams, 2 field goals. And with 5:20 remaining, Doug Peterson's Eagles trail by 7.
A lot of Eagles talking to the officials because they can't believe they've had 27 penalties over the last 2 weeks.
14 against the Lions, 13 today. Chris Thompson from the 3. Thompson out to the 25. Well, the Redskins took a 14-0 lead, but then it was Wendell Smallwood returning a kickoff. 86 yards for a score, and then how about Malcolm Jenkins? 64-yard interception return. Eagles tied the game, and then a key penalty on Fletcher Cox on 3rd down. Set up this Matt Jones touchdown. Redskins led by 7 at the half. And how about this, John? Eagles back-to-back games with at least 110 yards in penalties. First time since 1952. From the 24 on 1st down, it is Kelly as we check in with Carissa Thompson. Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. A great game in Detroit. They were down 28-21, but Matt Stafford finds Golden Tate on this 23-yard score. It's Tate's first of the season, Stafford's 4th of the day. We're all tied up, but Lions and Rams territory now at the 2-minute warning. Kenny, John, and Pam.
All right, thanks very much, Carissa. Jay Gruden's Eagles looking to win their 4th straight. Eagles won their first 3, lost to the Lions last week. Trail by 7.
57. 58.
Second down and 9. Cousins to the outside. Intended for Jackson. Mills defending.
Situation like this is very much the type of situation where they'd be looking for Jordan Reed. Jalen Mills playing a little underneath. Jackson wanted the hold. The officials decide not enough to warrant it. And here comes a big third down.
4:25 remaining. Third down and 9. Redskins must get to the 34. Cousins under pressure from Graham. And he throws it out of bounds, so the Eagles will get the ball back with 4:17 to play.
You see Fletcher Cox. It's not going to show up as a sack, but watch the way he just walks the center, Spencer Long, right back into Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins has nothing else to do but bail from the pocket and throw the football away. Fletcher Cox affects every game in such a big manner, such a big and powerful specimen in the middle for the Philadelphia Eagles.
John, the Redskins take only 63 seconds off the clock. The incompletion on second down, and then on third. Here's Sproles. So the Eagles now trailing by 7. Their offense heading back out onto the field following the Washington punt.
Well, you can talk about everything the Eagles have done wrong. The time of possession where they've been so good. Today it hasn't been good. All the penalties for the second week in a row, but here they are. They've got an opportunity with that nice stop by their defense to go score and tie this game. So they've stayed in the game. Now can the sensational rookie Carson Wentz find a way to go bring them back to tie it?
Eagles offense has been kept out of the end zone today. Big opportunity here. They will start from their 30-yard line. Three wide receivers set. On first down, Green Beckham unable to hang on. He had it knocked away by Will Compton, and Compton is down. With 4 minutes remaining, Redskins medical staff checking out Will Compton. Will Compton replaced by Martrell Spate. 4 minutes remaining. Redskins lead by 7.
A great play by Compton, knocking that ball out of Dorial Green Beckham's hands. Will Compton, all the way from an undrafted free agent practice squad player, now he's a defensive captain for the Washington Redskins.
Did whatever it took to make this team as a rookie. Now starting and one of the key members of the Redskins defense. Second down and 10. Wentz too high for Aguilar. There is a flag far side of the field. We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, John Lynch, Pam Oliver. Redskins lead the Eagles by 7. Referee John Parry.
Prior to the pass, illegal use of hands, hands to the face, defense. Number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Rashawn Breeland.
And it really bails the Philadelphia Eagles out, gives them a clean slate.
Eagles with their touchdowns on special teams and defense. Redskins have outgained the Eagles by 200 yards. Philadelphia committing 13 penalties, but they have a chance to tie the game. New set of downs following the Washington penalty. First and 10, 35-yard line. Wentz looking for Green Beckham.
Well, there's been consistent pressure on Carson Wentz, who was hit on that play But it started from the very first play of the game when Ryan Kerrigan got after Carson Wentz, and it hasn't ceased all day. It's Kerrigan. He's got 2.5 sacks. He's been all over Carson Wentz, in his face, even when he's not sacking him. And it's definitely affected the rookie sensation for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month in September, when the Eagles won their first 3 games, lost to the Lions last week. And now they keep it on the ground on second down with Sproles. And it's Ryan Kerrigan. He talked about Kerrigan, John, 2.5 sacks in the first half.
Watch him here, Kenny. Not just in the pass game. He's just taking it to Vaitai and kind of introducing him to the league. Really controlling the line of scrimmage in every which way. Ryan Kerrigan having a fantastic day.
Vaitai, the rookie right tackle, making his first NFL start. Third down and 9. Eagles must get to the 45 for a first down. Wentz steps up and throws. It's complete. Aguilar, first down across midfield in Redskins territory on 3rd and 9. Wentz to Aguilar for 18 yards.
Well, Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator for the Redskins, said this week, the most impressive thing about the young man is you can have everything dialed up in the right way, just as they do. Your guy can beat him. Chris Baker beats his guy. Wentz has the poise to step up and then deliver it downfield. Great play by a great player.
New set of downs for the Eagles as Wentz connects with Sproles. Tackled at the 43-yard line by Mason Foster with 2.5 remaining.
It's Trent Murphy that time beating the fine left tackle for the Eagles, Jason Peters. Wentz is getting hit almost every time he throws it. They've got to shore up that protection.
Second down and 6 from the Washington 43. Wentz on second down. Good protection. Now in trouble. Down he goes. Rookie Jean-Francois breaking through to sack Carson Wentz. We have hit the 2-minute warning. One more look at the sack by Ricky Jean-Francois.
Game is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the new thick-cut autumn carved turkey sandwich from Subway.
Welcome back. Under 2 minutes remaining. Redskins leading by 7. Eagles facing a 3rd down and 15. By the way, Will Compton back on the field for Washington.
And Kenny, don't be surprised here. 2-down territory, I would think, for the Eagles. So don't be surprised if they try to get half on 3rd down and then try their chances on 4th.
Wentz on 3rd down. Brought down back at the 38-yard line. The 5th Washington sack.
It's been fitting because all day long they have been all over Carson Wentz.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us with the Eagles trailing the Redskins by 7. Carson Wentz sacked for the 5th time today. This time Preston Smith.
And Kenny, he had only been sacked 7 times coming in, second least on the year. And from the opening snap where Ryan Kerrigan got after him, and Doug Peterson deciding with 3 timeouts at 4th and 30 that they've got at 4th and 24 that they're going to choose to punt.
They just used one of those timeouts. So, with 1:44 remaining, they will punt it away and then try and stop the Redskins. They have 2 timeouts. Jamison Crowder back deep for Washington. Fair catch called for by Crowder. 1:38 on the clock. Coming up after the game on the State Farm Game Break, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league. And we'll get you ready for America's Game of the Week. So Kirk Cousins and the Redskins offense back on the field. Eagles have 2 timeouts. 2 opportunities to stop the clock.
Kenny, a little subtlety right there. Jamison Crowder, what a fine player. Not only as a receiver, as a returner, him running that far to catch that ball saves him possibly 20 yards right there. Just a great play by Jamison Crowder, who's been on fire here the last couple of weeks.
From the 23, on first down, Matt Jones. And now the Eagles will use their second timeout as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kenny. Coming up next, we've got 2 great games. You'll either see the 4-1 Cowboys and Dak Prescott take on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, or you will see the 4-1 Falcons and Matt Ryan, their high-powered offense, going up against the Seattle Seahawks today in Seattle. Kenny, John, and Pam.
All right, thanks, Carissa. We look forward to it. So the Eagles with 1 timeout remaining. 1:34 on the clock.
Kenny, we think of all the time scenarios. The other big issue, they haven't been able to stop the running game for the Redskins all day. 173 yards rushing for the Redskins.
Again, it's Jones. Moving the pile. And now the Eagles will stop the clock for the final time. So 1:27 remaining. And Philadelphia out of timeouts. So now if the Redskins run the play, don't pick up the first down, they would punt with about 45 seconds remaining.
Right, and I think it was the only chance Doug Peterson had was to punt the ball, trust his defense. But the story of this game, it's been the penalties, the self-inflicted wounds again for the Eagles. But Ryan Kerrigan led the charge right off the bat, saying to Carson Wentz, as good as you've been, we're going to be in your face today. We're going to make you earn it. They've sacked him 5 times. The Philly offensive line that's been so spectacular coming in hasn't been a match for the Washington Redskins, who have been all over Carson Wentz.
A first down would end the game. Otherwise, the Redskins would punt it back to Philadelphia. 3rd down and 7. It is Jones, and Matt Jones picks up a first down and a lot more. Jones caught from behind by McLeod, but that will do it. Eagles out of timeouts. A 57-yard run by Jones to put the exclamation point on the Redskins' 4th consecutive victory.
Well, as I was saying, they haven't been able to stop them as a run defense all day long. And tremendous blocking. Watch Moses and Trent Williams. Inseki just collapses that side of the line, and Matt Jones, in huge hole to run through. And the big boy turns on the speed, 230 pounds and running.
So that will do it. Great job by our entire crew, led by producer Fran Morrison, director Artie Kempner, associate director Eric Mandia, broadcast associates Tyler Dare and Peter Creasy, technical producer Clyde Taylor, technical director Tom Maslak. Pre-game show produced by Bill Richards, directed by Stephanie Medina. Barry Hockhauser crunching the numbers. Our spotters, Ben Bulma and Bill Harmon. So Jay Gruden smiling on the Redskins sidelines. 232 yards on the ground for the Washington Redskins. 135 for Matt Jones. Redskins win their 4th straight. And they will travel to Detroit next week. Eagles lose for the 2nd consecutive week. Their first division game. They will host the Minnesota Vikings next Sunday. So the Redskins win it 27-20 for John Lynch and Pam Oliver. This is Kenny Albert saying so long as we send you to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.